If a Western power, or let's use older language, if a Christian nation could break the back of a small Islamic nation that was raiding and committing acts of piracy and kidnapping and selling people as slaves, if a Christian nation or a Western power could in fact militarily break the back of such a nation for its crimes, should it do it? In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, yes. It's called just war. Now, Billy Bob, when we were off the air in the break, Billy Bob said to me, well, you said you're going to read from the Catholic Catechism. Why would us Protestants care what the Catholic Catechism says about just war? Excellent question, Billy Bob. Let me read to you from the Oregon State University website. It says, the history of the just war theory begins in the works of some important philosophers. Augustine provides a foundation for the just war theory in Western literature. Thomas Aquinas codified Augustine's reflections into the distinct criteria that remain the basis of the just war theory as it is used today. So for those of you who did not know, Augustine and Aquinas, they were both Catholic theologians. Their writings are still impacting the world today. And Protestants love Augustine, okay, because all of this was prior to the Reformation, and both Catholic and Orthodox theologians, the Orthodox after the Great Schism, these theologians dominated the field, friends. And you have great evangelical preachers, theologians since the Reformation who adore Augustine. So for those of you who suffer from an anti-Catholic bias, there's your answer. Now to the Catechism. What does it say? The strict conditions for legitimate defense by military force require rigorous consideration. The gravity of such a decision makes it subject to rigorous conditions of moral legitimacy. Would it be morally legitimate for us to fight Russia over Crimea? Okay. So here, according to the Catholic Catechism, and there are other people who use the just war theory and expand and contract it, mostly expand it, by the way. It's a great study. If you want to study just war theory, just stay away from Wikipedia and go and Bing or do a search on just war theory. You can keep yourself occupied for 2 or 3 hours and come out much richer intellectually. And you'll see the fingerprints of Augustine and Aquinas all over it. Anyway, here's what you have to have. At one and the same time, the damage inflicted by the aggressor on the nation or community of nations must be lasting, grave, and certain. Well, it fails right there on that point. The vote of the people of Crimea to rejoin the Russian Federation, even if you want to say that Russia annexed Crimea, okay, which I don't believe happened, but even if you want to say that, is the damage inflicted by Russia on Crimea or the community of nations lasting, grave, and certain? No. Look at the pictures. Look at these people cheering, laughing. These are Russians, okay? They have been a part, the Crimea has been a part historically of Russia for over 200 years, mostly. And they want to go home, friend, comrade. All other means of putting an end to it must have been shown impractical or ineffective. Fails on that one. There must be serious prospects of success. The West cannot fight Russia for Crimea, all right? Unless we want to get into some type of nuclear holocaust, which is not going to happen. The use of arms must not produce evils and disorders graver than the evil to be eliminated. The power of modern means of destruction weighs very heavily in evaluating this condition. Clearly, we're not going to invade Crimea, all right? The destruction of that area over war, of actual shooting war, would be so horrific that it would invalidate anything that we would hope to gain. So there is no righteous, just war looking at us, all right? But I will say this, I've got to take a break, and we'll cover it when we come back. There is hypocrisy. While we're on the break, I want you to think, annexation, where did I hear that before? Did America ever do that to anyone? Did we ever do that? Do we have any blood on our hands? I don't know. We'll have to find out from the voice of resistance.